of Shakespeare. In English history, the period known as the Elizabethan age is equivalent to what is known as the Shakespearean age in literature. The period of Queen Elizabeth's rule over England, 1558 to 1603, is appropriately referred to as the golden period in both English and literary history. It is, in general, the Shakespearean age. It is referred to as the Renaissance era in literature. The word Renaissance refers to a revival or rebirth. It refers to the current resurgence of Greek and Italian learning, literature, art, painting, and architecture in other European nations, particularly in Germany, France, and England. The great Greek philosophers, scholars, and artists began to depart Greece and settle in other European nations about the middle of the 15th century as a result of the Turks' invasion and conquest of the majority of the Greek Empire. The Turkish conquest of Constantinople in 1453 further accelerated the flight of Greek academics. In Italy, many of them found refuge. Italy eventually rose to prominence as the hub of Greek, classical, art and literature. Through France, Greek and Italian scholarship, art, and literature eventually made their way to England, where they discovered it to be a highly hospitable nation for their development. In England, imitation and even plagiarism of Greek and Italian designs started. Greek models captivated English poets, actors, and writers. The Greek classical models served as the inspiration for a number of works, including Marlowe's plays, Shakespeare's tragedies, Spenser's Faerie Queene, Sidney's Arcadia, Ben Jonson's comedies, and Bacon's essays. The foundational ideas of philosophy and literary criticism were laid out by Plato and Aristotle. The ability of the English authors to mimic the ancient models made them feel pleased. Up to the 18th century, English literature maintained this imitative tradition. However, this does not imply that the writers, actors, and poets of the Elizabethan period were merely copycats. They just used the ancients as models before creating their own unique works, which are the crowning achievement of English literature. Among the finest writers in history include Shakespeare, Spenser, Bacon, Ben Jonson, and many others. As a result, the atmosphere was permeated with the spirit of the Renaissance or New Learning, and as one critic put it, every breeze was dusty with the pollen of Greece, Rome, and of Italy. As a result, the sense of beauty, chivalry, aesthetic abilities, and the rising love of all that made for the richness of life and affluence were given enormous momentum. The Reformation was a significant trend that accompanied the Renaissance. It was a movement for religious reformation that freed it from long-standing superstitious and pointless practices. An increase in moral seriousness and spiritual ideas naturally accompanied this interest in religion. It was also a time when people made daring trips across uncharted seas and oceans in search of new areas to explore. Recent discoveries of new worlds beyond the seas, as well as the thrilling tales returned by intrepid explorers like Hawkins, Drake, Frobisher, and Raleigh, stoked the public's curiosity and sense of adventure, sparked new concepts about a variety of topics, and significantly expanded the boundaries of men's minds. It was also a time of tremendous patriotism, marked by a profound interest in England's history, pride in the country's glory, animosity against England's adversaries, and unwavering loyalty to the monarch. All of the people's little disagreements were set aside as they defended their nation together. Everything cooperated to bring out of each man the best that was in him at such a period, when passions were strong, speculation was rife, and a huge audience existed eager to react to the appeal of genius. This time period is one of the best in the history of literature because of its incredible fertility and the variety and splendor of its output. Important works. 1. Edmund Spenser, The Faerie Queene, The Shepherd's Calendar, Amority, Epithalamion, Prothalamion, Mother Hubbard's Tale, The Ruins of Time, The Tears of the Muses, Astrophel. 2. Philip Sidney, Arcadia Astrophil, and Stella an apology for poetry. 3. Ben Jonson. Every man in his humor, every man out of his humor. Walpole or the Fox. Cynthia's Revels. The Alchemist. Bartholomew Fair.